Alright, welcome back to another Dolphin Computer Service video. Today we're going to be finishing up our last part of the series of the back to school computers, or computers that you need for work or for business or for pleasure or for whatever you need a computer for. We're going to be starting off here real strong with one of my favorites of the desktop line from Lenovo. It is the ThinkCentre. These computers are one of my favorites because they are, one, really easy to work on. They are tough as nails. I've converted a bunch of these actually into gaming computers for people that don't have lots of money to throw at a computer. And these can actually take the Intel Xeon processors depending on the model you have. So you could actually use these as a little server if you'd like. Again, these are very simple computers. You see here in the back, you got plenty of options for expansion down here. Plenty of ports, plenty of USBs. Everything is off-the-shelf components, power supply, DVD drive, internal for fans or for hard drives or SD cards, whatever you need, it's got it. Don't even need tools to even open the panel. It's really easy. If you need something that's cheap and easily available, new or used, this is one of the computers to get. Some of these even have a grab handle up top, as you see here, so you can move it from place to place. The front panel actually lights up, so in the dark you can see what you're plugging in and what's connected. It's a very good computer overall. So here we have the small form factor version. They even sell a screen that you can buy for it if you so desire. It's basically that in a small package. You're going to see a lot of the business ones, they all kind of look and function the same because they're all competing in the same market. Again, this is a very tough computer. And we even have an all-in-one version here. I've never tried the all-in-one version, but I've heard it's very good from the few times I've worked on a couple of them. A lot of businesses like to use all-in-ones nowadays because, especially for point-of-sale systems, because it's literally right there. You only have one thing to work with. You only need one cable, which is the power cable. You don't have multiple cables coming in and out. Some of these do have touch screens also. So especially for point-of-sale people, they can tap on everything they need to ring up and it's right there. Also, most of these come with a keyboard and mouse combo, so it's literally plug it into the wall, turn it on, and you're good to go. And they even make a mini one that, as you can see here in the photo, fits in the palm of your hand. Basically, these are for attaching to the back of a monitor where it's hidden out of the way. These are really nice for people that basically just surf the web or have a very light application, maybe like Google Docs or Microsoft Word, answering an email, something like that. These take very little power. They're very quiet. They don't get hot. These are perfect for that. Another thing these are used for is like a terminal in a way, where this is just a way to access a bigger, more powerful computer that's located somewhere else in the building or somewhere else even in the world. That's mainly what these are used for. Again, these are very good. And since they're really small, you can fit them behind a computer monitor and you'll never see it. So now we're going to be moving on to something that I haven't seen in a while, but that I personally have lots of experience with. This is the HP Compact line. Like I said, I haven't found these new anymore. But you can go used on eBay if you don't want to spend a lot of money. These things are very inexpensive. Again, like all the other computers before, including these, they come in many different flavors, especially for internals when it comes to processing power, how much RAM it has. This is a small form factor one. If you remember my previous videos, I have the even older one with the Core 2 Duos. These I've seen go up to an i7 series processor with a quad core. And then I think they made one with a 6 core. I've heard about those, but I haven't seen it yet. But I've heard that they made some of these with a 6 core. These can be like the other ones, vertical or horizontal. You see plenty of these in schools, especially in the colleges, because one, super easy to work on, almost no tools required. It's easy for someone to come in, replace something really quick. The computer's back up and running. Again, these are built like tanks. I actually had one of these fall on my head. And till this day, that scar is still there, and the computer is still laughing at me. But, you know, again, these are very tough computers. This is another one that I've turned into gaming computers as well. I just shoved basically a 1050 Ti, put in a solid state, and you can play most games at medium settings all day long. This is the mini tower version, what they call it, that accepts full-size cards. Again, very tough. People use this particular model, especially the colleges. They use these for simulators, actually, where they put in a power supply, a really big beefy power supply, the CD drive to load up whatever they need. Here in this 3.5-inch bay, you can replace this blank out piece. You could actually put another 2.5-inch hard drive, another 3.5-inch hard drive as well, or they have a little slot that you can put in SD cards, add extra USB ports and all. Like the other computer, these have no shortages of USB port and expandability options. Like I said, I've seen colleges use this computer to run their simulators, whether it's for flight or it's for racing, for cars and all that. Very powerful computers. Again, these go all the way up to Core i7s. Parts are easy to find and easy to replace when things do go bad. They last a very long time. Again, also inexpensive to buy used. Again, I haven't seen these new as of recently. Then we have one of my all-time favorites above the Think Center line is the Dell Optiplex line. This is their latest lineup as of at least this recording. They again have an all-in-one, as you see here. Comes with webcams and everything. Again, lots of businesses, especially for point of sale, like to use the all-in-ones because, again, it's just one connection and it's done. They even sell a monitor, as you see back here, that it'll allow you to mount this little boy here, which is, again, their version of the small PC that you can hold in your hand, shove it behind a monitor, nobody sees it. We have, again, the small form factor version and the mini tower. One of my first gaming rigs was one of these Dell Optiplexes that I picked up from a local college that they're about to throw it away, and I managed to take it off their hands before it got thrown in the dumpster. Again, these are also very tough machines. Expandability galore, plenty of ports easy to find, easy to fix. They last a very long time. So whether it's for work, school, business, the Dell Optiplex line is a very, very good computer to get. And finally, we have the Mac lineup. This is not a recent image of what they have. Their iMac line. They still have the iMac, but now it looks a little different. You can buy a bunch of colors, different processors, and all that. So we start off with the Mac Mini here. I love the Mac Mini. I actually have one. A lot of these videos you see are edited on one. It's specifically a 2011 with the Core i7. This is like also very small. Hold it in the palm of your hand. These are perfect. What everyone uses them for is you shove them behind a monitor and you never see it again. You turn it on, it always stays on. They're relatively quiet unless you start video editing like I do, then they get very loud. Especially the Intel ones, but again, mine is from 2011. It's kind of showing its age. I've had it for forever. But now you can buy the one with the M1 series chip, and I heard that's very quiet. Again, I would like to get my hands on one. I also heard it's very powerful with the M1. Behind here, there's actually a lot of ports. You have HDMI. On mine, I have an HDMI Thunderbolt that acts as a display port as well. I have 4 USB ports. I have a audio input and output jack for microphones and headphones, and I have a SD card slot. Depending on which one you get of this year, also varies on the ports it has. But very good computer, very lightweight. Again, these prices are slightly different if you use the educational discount, and if you are a teacher or a student that's looking to get a Mac, I highly recommend going to the educational store. And once again, I am not sponsored or endorsed by any of these companies that I mentioned. This is just my opinion on what I think is a good computer for the needs at hand. Usually when you see a Mac in business, it's mainly for content creating, the music editor, the video editor, movie studios and all that. Colleges do have them. I see a lot of orchestra people use them when they're recording again back in music production. Yeah, very good computer. They usually don't use the Mac Mini though. We'll actually be moving on to the big boy over here, the Mac Pro, in a minute. That's what they mainly use. But let's start off continuing actually with the iMac. Again, this is the iMac Pro that they have specifically in this picture here. However, they discontinued the iMac Pro. You can only get the iMac in the Intel version or the iMac in the M1 version, which has all those fancy colors. I would also love to get my hands on one of them. This is their all-in-one version. There is no touchscreen version available at this moment. These are good computers for people that they want to have a computer, they want to have a Mac, but they don't want to deal with all these cables going everywhere. So it's just one cable that goes into it, which is the power cable, and that's it. They have a gorgeous display. They have a 24-inch 4K and a 27-inch 5K in the Intel version, and I believe the iMac version with the M1 is always the 5K version, and it's a 24-inch, if I remember correctly. Again, multiple colors to choose from. The display is beautiful. A lot of content creators use this as well because some of the older ones actually had a graphics card, a discrete graphics card that you could replace. It was a special one that you had to buy special parts for. These are more expensive to repair because they're a lot more risky. In order to get to the internals, you have to remove the screen, and there's always a risk of damaging the glass or the screen when you do that, especially the way they adhere it, which is with adhesive strips, which require using a heat gun. Not that hard to get into, but again, it is more risky to get into it. So when it needs repairs or replacements or upgrades, it tends to cost more because of said risk. Very good computers though. Again, you usually don't see this in business a lot unless it's for music or audio production or movie production and all that. So now we get to finally see the big boy, which is that wonderful asking price of $6,000 to start off with. These can go all the way up to $54,000. If you watch this video, you probably don't need that. But if you're able to buy a computer for $54,000, congratulations on making it to Wayne Manor. I hope your life is just as well as the rest of us here. So why do you need a Mac Pro? You're definitely in content creating. You're a movie studio. You're working on the latest Batman movie. You live in Wayne Manor. That's basically why you want this or need this. Colleges also use this. The local college by my shop here actually has the older versions of it, what they call the cheese grater. Those are actually really good. Some of those have a dual core Xeons in it. Not dual core, I mean dual Xeons in it. And they can have up to 12 cores, 24 threads. I think you could buy them still on eBay, believe it or not, for around $300-$400. I wouldn't go for one because one, they're very power hungry. You have two Xeons sucking up power like you wouldn't believe. You would probably feel like Chernobyl with the amount of heat they put off. Again, I've worked on a couple of ones at the college by the shop here, and when they run real hot, especially when you work them hard, because this is not really for the home. This is for in a professional setting where they have it set to 32 degrees. Well, not 32 degrees. I'm exaggerating there a little bit, but the room temperature is really cold. You have to put on a jacket from how cold it is. And then once it starts ramping up and working and you have a bunch of these in that studio, even with the AC set to its coldest setting, it's hot enough to make you sweat. So, yes, these put out a lot of heat. These new ones, which is the latest one, they had another one that looks like a trash can. It was literally called the Trash Can Mac Pro. Those you want to avoid like the plague. I heard those are really bad. Upgrading is very expensive and practically non-existent because of the design that they chose. They actually abandoned that one not too long and created this one, which is the Cheese Grater 2.0. Again, you could these are very upgradable, believe it or not, and parts are easy to get. They're just very expensive. But again, if you're a movie studio, that's making multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar movies, $54,000 is kind of a drop in the bucket for what you're doing. That's basically the Mac lineup for desktop versions, and that's basically the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day, folks.